Have you ever wondered how to clearly hear God's voice? This is a question that has echoed through the ages, across continents and civilizations, whispered in the quiet corners of our souls. It's a quest for a divine connection, an intimate dialogue with the very source of life and existence. In the grand tapestry of existence, we humans are spiritual explorers, navigating the vast cosmos of consciousness. We yearn for a connection that transcends the mundane, a voice that guides us through the labyrinth of life. Our hearts resonate with a deep desire to tune into a divine frequency, to hear the whispers of wisdom, the echoes of eternity. The book of Genesis, the first chapter, verses 1 to 28, chronicles the genesis of this divine connection. It narrates how God, in his infinite wisdom and power, embarked on a project not of bricks and mortar, but of spirit and soul. A project to create man, a being capable of capturing the totality of the Godhead, a being that could be a reflection of God's glory, a manifestation of his spirit, his word, and his fatherhood. In this grand design, man is not merely a creature, but a revelation of divine wisdom, divine spirit, and divine fatherhood. When a man comes to his full potential, what you see is not just a man, but a manifestation of God, a testament to the divine engineer who designed this being, a testament to his greatness, his majesty, his splendor. But this journey of divine connection is not a sprint, but a marathon. It requires trust, patience, and an openness to divine wisdom. It requires us to still our minds, quiet our hearts, and listen. Listen to the still, small voice that speaks in the silence, that guides us through the storms, that whispers in the winds of change. As we embark on this journey together, remember that faith is about trust, patience, and openness to divine wisdom. Remember that the search for divine connection is not about reaching a destination, but about the journey itself. It's about the moments of stillness, the whispers of wisdom, the echoes of eternity. It's about hearing, clearly and truly, the voice of God. To hear God's voice, we must first understand the nature of the divine. Central to this understanding is the concept of God as three persons in one, a concept we find in the very first chapter of Genesis. Here we see God, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, embarking on a project of creation, and in this divine endeavor, mankind is formed. In the creation story, God doesn't simply create humans like the Father or the Son or the Holy Spirit. No, he says, "Let us make man in our image." This implies that humanity, in its fullest potential, captures the totality of the Godhead. In each of us is a revelation of the Word, the Spirit, and the Father. So when a person reaches their full potential, they become a manifestation of God. Their very existence testifies to God's greatness, mirroring his majesty through their splendor. This concept is deeply woven into the fabric of creation, as the heavens were formed before the earth, and civilization existed many eons before mankind entered the scene. The divine realm, the spirit realm, existed, and God presided over it. Then at a certain point, God embarked on a new project, creating Earth and placing humanity in it. One of the motivations for this project was the fall of an angelic prince, a rebellion against God fueled by pride in his own beauty. This story, found in the book of Ezekiel, provides a backdrop to our earthly existence and a deeper understanding of our divine connection. Our creation in the likeness of the divine was God's response to this rebellion. We are created to reflect God's wisdom, glory, and beauty, each of us a walking testament to his divine nature. Understanding God's nature is a crucial step in opening ourselves up to hear his voice. When we grasp the magnitude of our creation, the divine potential within us, and the reason for our existence, we position ourselves to better hear, understand, and respond to God's voice. The story of the fallen angel is a powerful lesson in pride and rebellion. This angel, unique and magnificent, was a spectacle of wisdom and beauty. His very form was a symphony of worship, his movements a melody that could capture the heavens. Adorned with precious stones, he was a radiant creature who, when he moved, made heaven come under worship. Yet in his beauty, iniquity found a foothold. As told in the book of Ezekiel, pride entered the heart of this prince because of his beauty. This pride led to rebellion against God, a rebellion which ultimately led to his downfall. This angel, once a beacon of majesty, was cast down, his glory stripped away. The fall of the angel was not just a personal tragedy, but it also marked a turning point in the grand narrative of creation. This angel was given authority to rule over the first earth, but his rebellion left a void that needed to be filled. In response to this, God embarked on a new project, a project that would result in the creation of man. God, in his infinite wisdom and love, decided to create a being that would not only fill the void left by the fallen angel, but would also have the potential to reflect his own image. The creation of man was a divine response to rebellion. It was a bold statement that even in the face of pride and disobedience, God's plan would not be thwarted. Man was created to be a prince on earth, to rule over it, and to be a manifestation of God's glory. This story reminds us of the importance of humility and obedience in our relationship with God. It warns us of the dangers of pride and the consequences of rebellion. It encourages us to strive to reflect God's image in our lives, to rule over our domains with wisdom and love, and to always remember the lessons of the fallen angel. With the fall of the angel, man was given a significant role. A role that was not just to tread upon the earth, but to rule over it, to govern it with wisdom and righteousness. This was not a decision made in haste, but a divine intervention, a divine design. Picture this: God, in the studio of eternity, embarking on a new project, the creation of man. Now, when we think of man's creation, we often focus on our physical form, but there's a deeper spiritual aspect to it. In Genesis, God said, "Let us make man in our image." He didn't just create us to resemble him physically, but also spiritually and mentally. We were designed to capture the totality of the Godhead, embodying the revelation of the Word, the Spirit, and the Father. What does this mean for us? It implies an inherent potential within us, a potential to communicate with God, to understand His will, and to manifest His glory. When a man comes to his full potential, what you see is the manifestation of God. We are not merely creations, we are reflections of the divine, reflections of His wisdom, His love, and His power. This divine role isn't a burden, but a privilege, a chance to reveal God's majesty through our lives. Each action we take, each decision we make, can be a testament to God's glory. But to fulfill this role, we must first recognize it. We must understand that we are not just physical beings living in a physical world. We are spiritual beings, created to rule over the earth, created to reflect the divine. This understanding can bring us closer to God. It can strengthen our relationship with Him, making our prayers more sincere, our faith more firm, and our spiritual ears more attuned to His voice. It can transform our perspective, our actions, and our lives. Understanding our divine role can help us to forge a stronger connection with God. And in that connection, we find the strength to overcome challenges, the wisdom to make right choices, and the peace to live a life filled with joy and fulfillment. So, how do we clearly hear God's voice? The first step is understanding God's nature. This journey begins with the book of Genesis, where we discover the divine Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. When God said, "Let us make man in our image," He was referring to the totality of the Godhead. This is crucial because it means that we, as humans, carry within us a reflection of the divine. We are not merely creations, but also manifestations of God's essence. The second step is recognizing our divine role. When God decided to embark on a new project after the fall of the angel, He chose humanity to rule over the earth. This wasn't a random decision. God saw in us the potential to reflect His glory and wisdom. We are not just inhabitants of this planet, we are its stewards, entrusted with a divine mandate. The third step is cultivating humility and obedience. As Isaiah 40, verses 28 to 31 tell us, "Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength." Humility is not about feeling less, it's about making room for more of God in our lives. Obedience, on the other hand, is not about blind compliance. It's about aligning our will with God's will. It's about recognizing that His plans are better than ours. The fourth step is remaining open and attentive to divine communication. We live in a noisy world filled with distractions, but if we quiet our minds and open our hearts, we can hear God's voice. It may come as a feeling, a thought, or even through the words of others. As 2 Corinthians 3 verse 15 teaches us, when we turn to the Lord, the veil is lifted. Remember, hearing God's voice is not about straining to catch a whisper, but about tuning our hearts to the divine frequency. In our journey to hear God's voice, we've explored essential concepts. We've delved into the profound understanding of God's nature, a triune entity of Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. We've recounted the fall of the angel, whose pride led to his downfall. We've affirmed man's role, created in the image of the divine, destined to reflect God's glory. We've outlined steps to tune into God's voice, fostering a deeper spiritual connection. May your journey lead you to a deeper connection with the divine and a clearer understanding of your purpose.